Thank you. I'm still catching my breath after that very interesting session. Thanks so much, Dhara. I was here last year to be honored by the recognition that many of you received today. And it is just amazing to be back on stage in a different avatar as a speaker. And I chose a topic which I'm extremely passionate about. And the passion that drives me to run a company that is into leadership development for senior management comes from my own experience of being a part of the corporate enterprise for over a decade, realizing that it's not about having a good or bad boss. It's just about realizing that people around us, including you and me, have not really learned leadership. So many of us could be victims of poor leadership, but we can only blame others if we've put our hand up and have been able to find a structured way to learn leadership ourselves. And that is the passion that drives me to run SBY Academy. Many call it as SBI Academy, and I take that as a compliment, hoping that one day we'll become as big as SBI in the space of training and leadership. So presenting to you the changing face of leadership in AI times. I'm sure I'm reaching out and appealing to a room full of intellect. I do believe that beauty and brains are not mutually exclusive, and I want to spell this out because in my own experience, people have somehow perceived it that way. And so let's bring that together in this room right now and really appeal to your intellect side in this talk that I have put together for you all for the next 10 minutes. The reason why I say that is because it's very important for us to see how leadership is truly changing. It's not just a topic that sounds fancy, it's the truth. The way we've understood leadership to be is not the same anymore. AI is not just an interesting topic. It is an enabler for transformation. If an industry is still untouched by artificial intelligence, that industry is dead already. Would you agree to that? Give me a show of hand. Right? So gone are the days when artificial intelligence was about IT sector. And it was for the techies to deal with, nothing to do with me as a banker, nothing to do with me as someone who runs a training enterprise or as a service industry or manufacturing. But today, artificial intelligence holds every ops process you have. It holds your recruitment processes, so HR needs it so bad. It holds your marketing processes because you need artificial intelligence that gives you the input required through social media platforms. No matter which function you belong to, which industry you're a part of, you need to educate yourself on what artificial intelligence can do for your particular function. Having said that, it's important for us to look at artificial intelligence in a way by which we could collaborate and bring in AI as an enabler. It's not our competition. It's not man versus machine. And why I say that is because the layoffs that have happened across the globe have somehow raised the same concern and insecurities that we felt in the Industrial Revolution times. Remember those times when we said, oh God, now machines will do what man is supposed to do, what will happen to us in our jobs. And we realized how that progressed and how that transformation took over. And then came internet. And when internet came in, it just made the whole world such a small place, isn't it? We have people representing different countries right here, sitting here. And the first point of contact was through internet. So now when we talk to our children about those days when there was no internet, when there was no GPS, they kind of feel that we were the first ever human born, like the Stone Age category. We go as long back as that, oh, in your times, was it a TV? I have 11-year-old twins, and they asked me this question, did you have TV when you were a child? I said, yeah, of course we had TV. I'm not 300 years old, right? But the curiosity comes from the fact that they can't imagine a world with no internet, with no GPS, with no access to phones. My first mobile phone was in my hand after 12th grade, and my dad thought he was the kindest man on earth, right, to give it to me so early on. And I had to maneuver my way through it to get that phone in my pocket. It wasn't easy. Forget about the model. Just having a phone in itself was such a delight. And now, smartphones are running a cycle of just 12 months. What that means is, after 12 months, no matter how awesome or expensive your phone is, it's obsolete. It's an old model. That is the pace of transformation we're living through. And hence, it's important for us to understand, what is this AI thing going to do for me? What is it that I need to learn or prepare myself for to be able to collaborate with artificial intelligence and not perceive it to be some sort of a threat? So let's look at what are the different aspects of artificial intelligence. If I were to conduct this talk maybe just a couple of years back, the mention of artificial intelligence would bring to your mind some robots demonstrated on this stage, right? Or a sci-fi glimpse. But today, artificial intelligence is in your phone. It's on every social media platform. It is Siri for the Apple owners. It is Alexa for those who love Amazon. It's everywhere, doing anything and everything for you. It guides you from point A to point B. It creates a better experience for you through chatbots that every organization has to now embed in their website. Otherwise, it's a dead website. And that's how important it has become for us to integrate every aspect of AI in what we do. So let's look at some numbers. Being an ex-banker, I love to bring in numbers because that adds to the entire perspective. When we were looking at global artificial intelligence revenue for just 2021, it looked like a 350 million plus revenue kitty. Look at the numbers here, which adds up from 2016 to 2025. The lowest integration in terms of the usage is prevention against cybersecurity threats, by the way, which is going to multiply exponentially given the privacy concerns that we've already faced. That alone is $2,472 million. It's just below the chairs under somewhere, but that's why I'm reading it out to you, which means the smallest chunk of what this revenue can look like is already $2,000 million plus. What that means to us is that there's going to be a lot more investment that will come our way if we want to integrate AI. What we need to prepare for is what will that investment do for me, for my business, for my function if I'm a corporate executive. So let's move on to some very important leadership lessons. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this VUCA world, which became an acronym and quite a fad till some time back when we said that we are living in this world that is volatile, uncertain, there are complexities, it's ambiguous. Every single conference that I attended from 2015 to 2020, because after that conferences came to a cease thanks to COVID, every single conversation would bring in VUCA in some way or another. Have you experienced that? Give me a show of hand. Yeah, right? But it's no more VUCA the way we know VUCA to be. Why? Because we've already experienced the worst that it could bring in. We know what is volatile. We know what uncertainty is. We face it every single day. We know what complexities can look like with technology that we half understand but utilize so well. We know there is ambiguity in everything that we understand because there is so much more to understand, irrespective of what you think you understand. Right? In fact, it's a wise man who knows that there is so much more to know. It's a foolish who believes that they know it all. So I know for a fact there is no know-it-all sitting here, and hence you're paying so much attention to what are these 7 lessons I must learn to be ready to face the world that I'm about to face as a leader. So VUCA today stands for vision, understanding, clarity, and agility. The vision to merge the silos in organizations. Organizations will soon have to become one functional, one strategy, multidisciplinary, one team. Gone are the days when they were this is the HR division, and then that is the ops division, and I'm the technology head. I don't know what the sales head looks like because I've got nothing to do with him or her. We have experienced our corporate lives in such silos. This is going to be non-existent for those organizations who will be able to survive through these changing times. If you're not able to survive through it, you'll realize that working in silos in itself is a great strategy to become irrelevant. So vision is to create that one strategy for your organization. Understanding the human concerns. No matter how smart or intelligent our machines are, they will never be able to be human in the way we feel what we feel for each other. The emotions that drive us, that makes us laugh together, even though we don't know each other. There was so much respect in the way people received each other in this small little exercise we did. How much programming can you put in a machine that could feel the way you just felt without much effort? Hence, humans have their own place, and they always will, for as long as they see machine as a collaborator, as an enabler, not a replacement. We need to understand that ourselves and then find ways to explain it to our teams who probably are a little behind the curve to see technology changes as an advancement to their career and not as a diminishing career headed towards a null state. Clarity. Clarity is the most important responsibility for a leader because it has to come top down. Clarity is when the organization tells you what my enterprise architecture is going to look like. Basically, what are the programs, the tools that I need to use? Why are we using these tools? Where are we integrating AI? Why is it needed? What will it do for you, for me? All that clarity needs to be instilled. We cannot shove change down people's throat. As humans, let me share a very well-known fact, not many admit to, is that we hate change. Humans don't like change. We don't like it. No matter how much we want to put our hand up and say, my strength is that I'm open to change. Well, I don't know how true is that, because we are used to being familiar with things around us, our environment. The more familiar it is, the more confident you feel, because you're aware of what your environment is, and hence you can put your best foot forward. Suddenly, I change your environment, that confidence diminishes, right? It will take a dip, and you will take your own time to recover from that. We love familiarity. And so we've got to understand that only clarity can make the unknown easier. And that is your responsibility as a leader. And the last of this VUCA world that we live in today is agility. So a lot of us know a lot of stuff, right? We know we should wake up early, exercise, eat right, blah, blah. And the moment somebody starts talking about it, a part of your mind just switches off saying, what? Are you saying I don't know about this? But the question is this: do you really do what you know? How quick are you about implementing what you know? Agility is about that quick implementation. You might have learned something very interesting about machine learning, okay, and it makes a great intellectual conversation when you need to have a small talk in a conference, but that's all there is to it. You haven't used it beyond that. Agility is when you're able to bring in your learning into doing. And that is an ask of today's VUCA world. So are you ready to learn the 7 most important leadership skills that you must know and prepare yourself for if you are ready to really face these changing times with AI and AR and VR and all of it coming in? Are you ready? Just say ready, guys. Ready. Not ready enough. Ready. Ah, that's great. You're ready. All right, let's get started. Okay, the first and the most important thing is emotional intelligence. Now, it's a fact that emotional intelligence adds 80% to our success from mid-management level onwards. Balance 20% is your technical skills. Well, this stat has been around for a very, very long time, and hence it should be questioned. The fact that technical skills are being taken over by machines, the whole idea of doing all of this is what? To take away the tactical work so that we can do more strategic work. But strategy is all about working with people, which means emotional intelligence is maybe 90%, if not more, of what will make you successful in your careers. So we've really got to look at all the 5 elements of emotional intelligence. One is self-awareness. How aware are you about your own strengths and weaknesses? If you don't know yourself, you will never know anyone else enough. So self-awareness is not something that just happens, by the way. It needs a lot of conscious work. That's the first aspect of emotional intelligence you need to look at. The second is managing emotions. Good, bad, ugly. We are always going to experience emotions. There'll be times you'll be angry. There'll be times when you want to kill somebody. There'll be times when you want to say to their face how much they suck, etc., etc. You need to know how to manage those emotions. You can't stop feeling what you feel, and thank God for that, because that makes us human. But you need to learn how to manage, and that's a quality of a leader. The third is empathy. I don't need to say much about that. It's been a hashtag for a fairly long period of time, and I'm thankful for that, really, because at least it's bringing in that much needed attention to what empathy is and is not, what is sympathy, what is empathy. I won't take much time on that. I'm sure you know it. We've got to bring that in very, very consciously, especially when people are insecure. People are wondering when will be their last day in this organization. Will my organization last? Will it go through this technological advancement cycle or not? Because the moment it doesn't, the moment it comes to a point where the bottom line is being hit, they just pull the plug. We've seen that across the board, with the largest organizations to the smallest startup outfit. So is there a sense of insecurity in the air? The answer is a big yes. Empathy is what helps us do a few things proactively. There's no point reacting, right? In fact, the entire IT, the technology so far has been very reactive. But what we do is basis what is needed. And so the business will go and put out an ask, and the IT team is going to create a solution and provide that to you. That's how it's been working always. Hence, even in the IT space, people don't have the skills required to be successful in the AI times. For example, analytics. Analytical skill is not a necessary mandate for an IT function. Empathy, not really. But if you are preparing yourself to succeed and not just survive, you need to let go of your functional roles and bring in the leadership aspect, irrespective of your seniority in the hierarchy, or whether you are a corporate or a startup or an entrepreneurial. As long as you're a working professional, you need to work on your ability to empathize with the world around you. And then comes motivation, self as well as motivating other people. And the last element is social skills, which is not necessarily about being an extrovert. It's about understanding how we connect with people. It can be a one-to-one till it becomes a one-to-many. So that's the first and the most important skill to look at. The second is cultural intelligence. What makes this room a lot more beautiful than anything else is the color of these flags here, is the variety of outfits in the room that's adding to so much beauty and so much inclusion. And this is bound to happen because today our teams are diverse. And they are not just diverse in terms of their culture and their origin or the region they belong to, but it's about the functions that they represent. Today's diverse teams are going to be cross-functional, cross-regional, across the geography, and we need to find ways to connect with them. And it starts and ends with respect, by the way. Respecting a different point of view is what helps us to become culturally intelligent. The third is agility and adaptability. I've said this already. You need to find ways to quickly implement all that you know so that you can spend some more time and energy in knowing more, because there is really a lot more to know. Right? So we quickly keep implementing what we learn in the organization. That agility is what helps you stay ahead of your competition in the market. The next skill is critical and creative thinking. Critical thinking is the ability to balance your logical self with your emotional self. It's not something that just happens to us. None of these skills really do. Some of us could have a knack for it, yet there is a long way to go. So we've got to find ways to make ourselves better critical thinkers, and creativity is not limited to a creative field. Creativity is not just about thinking out of the box. It's also about thinking in the box. It's about thinking, what do I do to create more impact and more growth with the resources I have? Because it's very easy to put an ask and say, multiply this by 2 and see my results will multiply by 5. But what if this is all there is? How do we then multiply our growth and increase the impact? The fifth skill is ethical judgment. Really, really important. So in some part of the world, there was an AI used called beauty.ai to judge a beauty pageant. And they did not realize that the criteria to choose the winner was the color of the skin. So you can imagine what was the end of this beauty pageant. It pretty much ended right there forever. And that is because machines do and will always have their own limitation. We need to bring in our own ethical understanding and judgment to what is right, what is appropriate, and what is fair. And that's again a place where machines cannot replace the man or the woman. So quickly, the last two, because I don't want you to miss on to this: accountability for whatever happens, even if you're not a subject matter expert, and courage to be open to the unknown. Thank you so much.